Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So good to see you all. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off from episode 1. Basically, the Hotel Transylvanian lycans finally left us alone long enough so we could pull an arrow out of our thigh, which, by the way, never do that, kids. You'll end up dying before you even make it to the hospital, and that's not any way that you want to go. We could pull up a bandage out of literally nowhere and decide to wrap our hand the best that we can. Love that, at least we'll be making it. And then we meet Miss Old Lady over here who's a little bit deranged, but she tells us some vital information that our daughter is in fact in this village, so it seems that our hunch was correct all along. Following the old hag's instructions, we make our way towards the castle when we come across an altar with a goat on it. Now it says, anyone who destroys them will feel Mother Miranda's wrath, and considering she just told us that Mother Miranda is the one who brought our child to this village, I make sure to make quick work of it, take care of it. I don't want to see that goat. Ironically, I turn around, I see a shield with a goat on it, and there's a little crystal within the eye that we shoot down to get a little extra valuable in our possession. Then we grab the maiden's crest and slot it into this door, knowing that we need another one in order to allow passage. So we turn back around and find ourselves into this frozen tundra with a stealth element that I decided to just run through, because who's got time to try to play stealth in a game when you can get one or two shotted by the enemies, am I right? We finally find these two villagers who are hiding out in this building directly next to the wheat field, and after a quick exchange of information, we find out that there's a hideout directly next to us. We just have to wrap around and open up the door. So we do that, bring the people and the survivors all together, only to find out that the man that we brought in was infected as he starts attacking the people and the house, eventually burning down the entire place, and the person that we brought along with it falls to her death. It's a sad time to be her, it's a sad time to be us, but hey, we got bigger priorities because our daughter matters more, right? After escaping the flames, we find Mother Miranda herself slaying a villager in cold blood. We try to chase after her to see what she knows and get information out of her, considering she's the one who took our daughter, only to lose her in the wheat field, and yet instead we find for a second time the old hag spewing some nonsense talking about how death has paid us a visit. We share a good laugh, catching up for old time's sake. And we continue our journey towards the castle. I shoot these two crows on the way and get nearly 5,000 lei, pretty much setting the standard from this point forward. Every time I see a crow, I'm going to be shooting them because it's an absurd amount of money. And then we continue in towards the castle to find the Duke waiting for us outside. First time we've seen this guy, but this guy seems happy-go-lucky, like he's pretty well taken care of, if you know what I mean. And we do a little bit of business to make sure that we take care of ourselves. I want to apologize to the viewing audience out there, because unfortunately the next part I do not have video footage for. Either I forgot to record it or it got deleted somehow, I'm not really sure, but I'll sum it up to make it real quick. Long story short, I get captured shortly after entering the castle, and I meet Lady Dimitrescu and her 3 daughters, along with a few other main characters, and the one and only Mother Miranda. Now, basically, they deliberate on what they want to do with me. Most of them want to kill me. Mother Miranda decides to let me live, but only as a plaything for one of the big brass in the room, who decides to put me through a trial thing, where basically I have to run through a bunch of spinning and crushing spikes and avoid death itself, only to find myself basically slithering back into the castle undetected, and I find myself in this puzzle room, which I pretty much make quick work of it. It was pretty simplistic. I figured it out almost immediately, and then just had to execute how to maneuver it. But once I got that done, I found myself wandering these very dark hallways with enemies slithering and slipping and just moaning in the corners and all that. Had to reset a few times just because they kept grabbing me since there were so many in these tight areas. After weaving my way through Lady Dimitrescu's dungeon of horrors down there, I finally came across the very first boss battle of the game. It was Lady Dimitrescu's daughter, Bella, who thought that she could take me out with her 2 goons behind her, man. I was so tired of it. She had 2 regular enemies in there who could tank 2 shotgun shells to the head, on top of the fact that her herself was impervious to all damage that wasn't frost damage. It was actually ridiculous, and I actually died so many times here. I reset over the course of 1 to 2 hours. I wish I could tell you a counter of how many times I died. It was absolutely insane. But just for the hell of it, I'm going to let you guys watch the full completed run and battle so you can understand why I struggled so hard and how tight these corners really were.
Give up. How dare you bare your teeth at us?
So as you can see, I tried to focus all my firepower on Lady Dimitrescu's daughter, Bella, because I wanted to see if that would kill these other side enemies, since she was the main boss enemy. I was severely mistaken, as I learned the hard way when I killed her, these guys were still alive, and unfortunately because of that, I met my end. The beautiful thing about it though, is that the game gave me a save point, a checkpoint, right after I killed her, and it spawned them back in their original positions in the hallway, so I was able to pick up the loot from her, continue from killing her, loot the room real quick, and press on before those enemies flooded my position again. Thank you, Resident Evil Village, for giving me some peace and quality of life, considering this is on the hardest difficulty. Thank you with everything that I am. After narrowly escaping the boss battle and getting myself into a butcher room where I find a wine bottle dripped in blood for some reason, I find myself over in a pool of what looks like blood as well, and I swear to God, I thought that Diablo 4's Lilith was going to rise out of this, like no joke. I honestly thought Dimitrescu was going to be doing it, or Lilith was going to be doing it, one or the other, because this looked insane to me. I'm not gonna lie, it looked absolutely insane. But either way, we complete the puzzle, and then it opens up a passageway below, which we make our way down into the basement as well to further find where this passage leads to. And sure enough, it just keeps getting weirder. We find ourselves in a maze of a wine cellar full of blood and enemies trying to grab us at every step of the way. Absolutely ridiculous. I had to reset a few times just because of the overwhelming amounts of enemies within the area. Eventually we find ourselves to Lady Dimitrescu's room though, where we spy on her, and she eventually catches us snooping around in her room. Obviously she's not going to like that. She decides to take revenge and throws us down multiple stories of floors into the basement, inciting a chase, which at this point we know all too well because the most recent iterations of Resident Evil, whether it be the remakes or the newest ones, always have somebody who seems to stalk us and follow us around the map. So that incites down in the basement, and obviously Lady Dimitrescu being upset with herself, you already know that she's going to take it into her own hands quite literally, and she takes my hand off, and that's where this episode is going to end. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell for notifications. Part 3 is coming real soon if you guys want it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. Eli out.